Alright, I'm going to take a video here to kind of help you understand how to use some of the equipment on your travel trailer. We'll do a walk around on the outside first, and then we'll head to the inside. And if you have any questions after watching the video, just feel free to reach out. Kind of a basic video, but hopefully it answers any questions you may have. So tongue jack here, tongue jack is here. It's a power tongue jack, and you control it by hitting retract or extend. So retract lowers it, extend lifts it. That raises your hitch off of your tow vehicle. You do have a little LED light right here. The ball size is 2 5/16, and you want it set to about 22 inches from the ground to the top of the ball. Do have two 30-pound propane tanks on here. I currently have them in the open position so I can show you how to use the furnace and water heater, but for travel you want to turn those off. And it does have a brand new 12-volt battery on there as well. The storage doors hold up with a magnet. You see a LED light in the front there. That's the switch here, and then there's the power cord for it as well. Jack right there is for your stabilizers, which are on all four corners of the trailer. When using these jacks, or I should say stabilizers, you want to put a padding or a block underneath. You don't want these to have to extend fully, otherwise they get a little flimsy. And don't use these to actually jack the camper. You just want to use them to make it stable for walking inside. Power awning, LED lit. I'll show you that when we go inside. This here is a door catch, so when you open your door, that will hold it in the open position. That will catch right in this tab right there. The steps fold, first one up, second one, and then together. And when opening them, you want to grab right in the middle here so you avoid the pinch points. Tires are currently at 65 pounds, all four of them. If you're traveling in hot weather, you might want to air that down just a few pounds. This is your potable water fill here. This is where you'll fill the water if you're going camping somewhere that does not have a water supply, like a city water source. And by filling the water here, that'll allow you to have onboard water in your water tank. And that water will then get pumped through the camper by using a water pump that's inside. And I'll show you that more in depth when we go inside. Furnace here. Hot air comes out the bottom, fresh air goes in the top, so you want to make sure you don't get any bugs, nests, or anything in here that would stop that flow. GFC protected outlet and coaxial hookup. The reason they put those on the outside here is if you want to put a TV here with a on a stand or something like that, you'll have a way to power it without using extension cords. Refrigerator access panel, mostly used for a technician to service your refrigerator. And then the hose sticking out there is a condensate line, so you may see water dripping out of there. If you notice, actually I'm going to come around to this side. Right in front of this front tire, this blue line here with a valve on the back, on the bottom. What that is your drain for this tank. Again, you don't want to travel with water in there, so that's how you drain it. You can travel with a little bit of water, but you don't want to have more than a third. It's just too much weight to carry around, hard on the tank, plus extra weight you got to carry. Again, magnets on the baggage doors to stay open. Refrigerator here, temperature controlled. It's already cold. That's a 110 volt fridge. Another stabilizer in the corner. Water heater right here. I'm going to try to do this. It's hot because I have it running currently. But if you look in there, you can see the flame going. That's heating your water. If you want to use electricity instead of propane to heat your water, there's a little switch hidden in here. They make it hard to access because they want you to use propane, but it does have the option for electricity if needed. But propane is usually the desired source of heat in or for a water heater in an RV. It has a faster reheat cycle. Cable and satellite hookups, that's a coax in lead. And then this is where your power cord will plug in, that cord that was in the front storage compartment. Spare tire here. Another stabilizer jack here. These bumpers have squeeze storage. So if you want to put a septic hose in there, you can. And I have a little hose I'll be giving you with an RV starter kit. This is going to be a little hard for me to show you with the slide out open, but underneath here, if you see that black valve, that's one of your waste valves. That's a gray tank valve, and that's going to be for your sink water after you've used it. That's where you'll discharge it. So if you see on the right side of that, there's a handle. You hook up your drain hose and pull that handle. And then there's another one of those systems over here for your bathroom. So this is the bathroom, this is the gray water, and that's the black water. You can tell by the handle. Gray water means sink and shower water after you've used it. Black water is your toilet sewage. Generally, you'll hook your hose up, release your black water, and then your gray water in that order. You don't have to do it in that order, but if you do it in that order, that helps to keep your cleanouts to keep your pipe a little cleaner. This here is where you want to hook a hose up to bring water into the camper. The bottom one here is where you hook a hose up to flush your sewage. Do not get these mixed up, because if you get them mixed up, you could actually fill your camper with sewage and burst your tank. So it's very important not to get these mixed up. It tells you here, flush valve, city water connection. This is an optional spray port. They make a little blue hose you can use for kind of outdoor shower. You can get those right on Amazon if you choose to get them. It's just like an air compressor connection. You push this little valve in, push the hose in, it'll connect on there. That is not drinking water, but it's good for, washing the boots or whatever. And just the other side access to the storage compartment. 12-volt accessory charger here. We'll head on inside. So actually, while we're outside here, we got this is the one key system. So this key here will do all the locks on the trailer. Does the deadbolts. And then just for reference, the key code on this, if you look closely on there, is G362. So if you want spare keys for this, don't go to a locksmith. You can go right on Amazon, type in camper or RV key G362, and they're like 4 for $10. Whereas if you go to a locksmith, they're 40 to 50 bucks a piece. It also tells you that code on the inside of your door right there. Alright, heading on inside here. Cap lights, this is little LED lights on the front of the trailer. Porch light, so this is the awning light. You can also change it to a porch light depending on which way you press the button. It's a three-way rocker. On, off. Lower way is for the porch light. Upper way is for the porch light, lower way is for the awning light. Water pump here, water heater I have in the on position. cabin lights. These are just your, let's see, where are they? Looks like they're in the front, right towards the master bedroom. This is a different one. You can also turn these lights on and off right on the light themselves. Battery disconnect, depends if you want your battery to shut off or to be charging. If you turn this off, then the battery will not be charging when plugged in. Awning extension and retract. Alright, so this is a couple things you need to know about that. If you put the awning out, you have to babysit it. Do not walk away from the camper. You get a strong wind coming in or the cold front coming in, it'll rip that awning right off, and it does significant damage to the camper sometimes. So very important, if you're, don't use your awning unless you're out there by it. Also, you're not supposed to use your awning in more than 5 miles per hour of wind, which is not much at all. And any kind of rain conditions, you're supposed to put the awning away. Even though many people do leave it out, I'm just telling you what the manufacturer says. Awning has not been out yet this year, but it's probably warm enough today we can do that now. So we just hit extend. You'll see it go out. It's dirty. It's gonna need to be cleaned, but you see when it's going out, all the water dripping off of it. That's gonna happen every time you open it up in the mornings because all the condensation's sitting in there. So just be cautious, don't be standing underneath it, or don't have your clothes and stuff set up on the ground. Then you go to open an awning and everything leaks all over it. You'll want to hose that down to keep the dirt stripes. Let me open this up again to show you something. You'll see dirt stripes every foot roughly where the awning bottom would be, where everything settles in there. You can hose them off, but you'll still see some stripes. The best way to get rid of them, if you don't have access to a pressure washer, is just using, it's called Awesome. They sell it at the dollar store. You spray that on there, roll the awning back up for a half hour, then open it back up and then hose it right off. But it's something you'll have to get used to because you're going to get these on here many times throughout the season. It's just, now it's going to be worse obviously because it's been sitting all winter. I would have washed it off for you if it was a little bit later in the season, or hopefully they're turning our water here on May 1st, but I still have a little bit I can run off of the house water just to run the campers, but it doesn't have enough power to run a pressure washer. We have a bunch of different gauges here. So there's a chart from empty to full. If I press the button, it'll tell me. So this is battery button. It's showing me it's fully charged. It's a brand new battery. I just put it on there. Fresh tank is a third full, which is the most you want to travel with. Black tank is empty. Gray tank is empty because it was just winterized. There is no auxiliary feature on here. So I'm going to show you how to use the plumbing. So because we're not hooked up to a hose, because we don't have, it's not after May 1st yet, we use the water pump here. So that's from water I put in the storage tank. I'll come over here, put this towards us, and then turn it out. That's going to be your cold water. Move it forward, that'll be your hot water. I'm not sure if you can hear that or not, but when that's running, there's a water pump running. I'll show you that in the bathroom actually. That you'll be able to hear it better because the water pump's located underneath the sink here. You will see some pink coming out still. That's from it being winterized. So if you hear that noise, and then it shuts off when I turn the water off, that's great. That's what you want to hear. So if that pump were to stay running, that would tell us there's a leak in the system. But the fact that it shuts off when we're done calling for water tells us that the system is holding pressure and we have no leaks. The other reason it would maybe run is if you just simply run out of water. So, I'm going to try to do the shower here, but one hand while videoing, not going to be easy. Give it a minute, and like so. The shower does have a place to hang it on the wall, but for travel I usually tell people to leave it on the ground because I see those little mounts rip out of the wall pretty often. And then this can just latch back together so it doesn't open during travel. Alright, toilet. It is a foot flush, so there's a lever over here. For liquids, I just do a quick flush like that. But for solids, flush it and I would hold it down for 5, maybe even 10 seconds. The reason being is you want to introduce more water into that toilet, into that black tank. The more water you have in that black tank, the more it'll help break down the solid waste and stop you from getting a pyramid inside your black tank. Then you have to have that roto-rooted out. Alright, that should be it for the plumbing. Moving on over, we have the stove here. Again, I have the propane turned on now. So it shows you on the illustration here which stovetop burner it's going to use. Turn it to the light position, and then just hit the sparker. It's important to note that this glass surface here is not a cooktop. So do not use that as a cooktop. Always have that back, otherwise this will break. Little ambience light right here. There is a light on your hood right here, and then also a fan for when cooking, and a microwave oven above that. Refrigerator here, on and off, and it is a two-way refrigerator. So if you leave it on auto, if you were to run out of if you were to have a power failure or don't have electricity, it'll automatically switch over to propane as long as you have gas in your tanks and a good battery. This is already nice and cold. It's only been on for a couple hours. Below this is your power center. Power center with your fuses and your breakers. The fuses are all for your 12 volt system. The breakers are for your 115 volt system. Alright, moving over here, we have your stereo. Press it there, give it a minute. Turn it off there. Television, looks like it's unplugged at the moment. Hidden behind the television is a switch right here. See if I'm pointing to it. That switch will control whether you're using the fireplace or the microwave or air conditioner. So you have to have that switch on accordingly. So right now I have the switch in the up position. Means my fireplace will not work, but my microwave and my air conditioner will. Actually, I know my microwave will because that's on. I don't remember if the air conditioner is tied in with. So we're going to check that right away. Go over here to air conditioner. Turn the fan on. Let me go back through. Turn the fan on high. Air conditioner. Give that a minute to kick on. I'm going to turn the fridge back off. Alright, so now this still will not turn on here. But if I turn this switch off, now it'll turn on. You can also control a temperature here. It's used as a space heater. Right now I have it blowing out heat, so it's very hot already within just a foot range of it. But you'll notice microwave is turned off. Come back over here, turn the switch back on. Microwave turns back to the on position. I don't know if you can hear me or not. The truck going by was loud. The lights themselves have switches right on them. On and off switch. I'm going to see. I don't know if there's a remote for this TV or not. There may not be. I'm just gonna pause the phone really quick while I look for a remote. No, I do not see a remote for the TV. I see it's not plugged in anyhow. This is a Furion TV, so you can get a remote for that online. However, you're probably gonna, I'm assuming, upgrade to a smart TV anyways. They're so inexpensive now. One more cabinet. Sorry, that air conditioner kicked on now, so it's loud. Power receptacle there. There's also the power receptacle behind the TV. And then I'm trying to show you behind there, right there. And then coax cable hookups as well. Those would be the inputs if you're, the outputs if you plug the input to the outside of the camper. I'm going to turn this air conditioner, well, before turning the air conditioner off, I want to explain how it works here. So right here is all the return. So you need to keep this foam filter in there clean. If you want the air to dump directly out here, open those up and the air will dump out. Shut them and that'll send the air through all the sealing ducts. You can just open up the ducts, that's nice and cold. When you first turn the air conditioner on, it has a startup mode. It doesn't kick on right away, it takes a little bit, maybe a minute. But when you turn it off, same thing. So I turned it off now and it's still running. It's going to go through its shutdown mode. It takes about a minute. Well, actually that time pretty quick, but sometimes can take longer. Furnace is in the same switch. So I go through the furnace, set it to your desired temperature. It's at 90 now, we'll just leave it there. You'll hear, okay, so here what happened, the air conditioner actually turned on with it. That's actually only the fan though, it's not the air conditioner. So if I go back through the mode and I turn the fan to auto instead, then that fan is going to turn back off in a minute, because sometimes in the winter you're not going to want a fan blowing if you're cold. So now just the furnace is running. It's sucking air through here and then it's pushing air, warm air, out of here. We go in the front here, you'll see another port right there. And I feel like there was another one in here, but I'm not positive. I'm just gonna look and see quick. Maybe not, because I see it's got the elevated doors. When it has the doors lifted like that, then it might not have another port because air can travel through there. Oh, it actually does still. It has both. So there's a vent there and there. Little storage compartment here. They call it a laundry chute, but it just goes into your outside storage compartment. Wardrobe storage on the sides. Light above the bed, and then light here. Again, you can turn these off and on here, as well as with the main switch in the front. This receptacle here is GFI protected, so that protects many outlets on the circuit. I'm going to turn the furnace off. When I turn this off, it's still going to run for a minute, just like the air conditioner. So if you have an outlet that feels dead, if you come over here, you can usually reset them all with that. Carbon monoxide detector here. This is an LP carbon monoxide detector. I tell everybody to throw them out. Same with any smoke detectors or fire extinguishers that might be in the campers, like so. Throw them out and get new ones. Probably get better quality as well. The camper ones aren't the best quality. When you put new ones in here, just open a cabinet door and mark on the cabinet door what date you put them in here. And then every few years, when you replace them, you can update that date on there, because they do expire. Even though it has a green light on it, I'll show you that. Green light on means it's good, but get better. Couch here folds out into a bed by lifting this up and pulling it forward, but you still want to put a mattress topper on there. If we go in the cabinet here, oh, I thought there was a access panel. There's not. On the outside of the camper, where the outside kitchen is, there's an access panel, and that's to access the back of your water heater. I know you're going to Texas, but if you're going back somewhere in the winter where it's cold, you can bypass the water heater there if you decide to winterize it. Lights here just turn on by pressing the little buttons in the middle of them, like so. This also folds into a bed. To do it, it takes two people, but you lift the table up, pull out the legs, and then the table will sit back down on those ledges right there and makes a nice surface. More storage compartments here. Alright, that should be about it. We still got to do the slide outs, or slide out. I just want to shut off the lights now because once I shut everything down, I don't want there to be a battery draw. Kill all the lights here. Alright, so slide out control, when bringing it in, just do a walk around to make sure that it's not going to hit anything, such as those doors being open. Nothing on the floor. And then I just hit the slide out in button and watch it travel in. You'll see it gets pretty tight in here when it's in a completely closed position. Also, before extending it, you want to do a walk around to make sure there's no obstructions. Alright guys, I think that should be it. Get up on your roof every spring and fall just to check, make sure that you don't have to seal anything up. We've already done it this spring, but you'll want to do it in fall again. Look for any cracks and caulking, anything like that. And then again, if you go in a cold weather climate, make sure you winterize it. Any questions, feel free to reach out, and thanks again.